back to Jesus Time for Teens. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. Today's video is going to be all about how to do faux calligraphy. For those of you who don't know what calligraphy is, it's basically just a fancy form of like hand lettering, if that makes any sense. And faux means fake, so if you don't want to buy all the fancy calligraphy pens, you can do this technique with pens, pencils, crayons, markers, really whatever you have on hand. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to Jesus Time for Teens and click the bell so that you will be notified every time I post a new video. Also share this video with your friends and family. And yeah, let's get on with today's video. So we are going to start out with a basic like calligraphy tips and tricks. So what you're going to need, first of all, you're going to need your paper. Your paper is going to depend on what you want to do with your calligraphy. You're going to want, if you're doing Bible verse art, you're probably going to want like stronger cardstock. If you're practicing, I would just use some computer paper or some notebook paper. I would normally use computer paper, but just for demonstration, I'm going to be using this paper because it already has lines on it. But if you are using computer paper, you can go ahead and draw your lines with like a ruler and then erase them later just so you have a straight line to write your letters on. You're also going to need something to write with. For my first demonstration, I'm going to be using pencil. So you can basically use anything you want, but pencil I know a lot of people have, and it's really easy because you can get a thin line versus a super thick one, so it's really good for when you're practicing. So to get started with your practicing, one thing that I recommend getting is they're practice sheets. So you can get these on a website. It's called, I believe that it's called Tombow. It's a brand of pen basically. So you can get on their website, their like website where they sell their pens, their faux calligraphy pens, and you can get these so that you know how to do faux calligraphy. You can just print them out. You can use tracing paper over these. That's what I did originally when I first started, was I just laid tracing paper on these and practiced. I'll show you a few of the ones that I have done. I actually did these with the pens, which I will be showing you later on in the video. So here's some words that I did. This is kind of what faux calligraphy looks like. And I have lots of words, and then you have just like the alphabet, which is really good to practice as well. So if you want, you can print these off online. If you don't want to get these, then I will just show you how to do some of the letters. So what I'm basically going to be showing you in this video, just to keep it short and sweet, I'm going to be showing you the letter A, because if you get the concept, you can use any letter. So I'm going to zoom in with my camera here on my paper. Hopefully that'll focus. Okay, there we go. So starting off with the letter A. A is one of the most simple faux calligraphy techniques. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just do like a cursive A. So like that basically. Now what you're going to do is, in faux calligraphy, what you have to remember is every time that your strokes go down, your line is going to be thicker. And every time that your stroke goes up, it's going to be thinner. So I'll show you an example of that on the tracing ones that I did. For example, like these Y's, every time that the stroke goes down, the line is thick, and then like right here when I come back up, the line is really thin. And that's what you use if you really want like the effect that a real calligraphy pen gives you. So after you have your letter A, what you're going to do is every time that your stroke comes down, you're going to make the line thicker. So I'm going to start up here. This is where I started before. I'm just going to kind of like, I'm not actually going to draw on the paper, but I'm going to get an idea of where I went down. So right here, my stroke went down. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to make a little like line where the line's supposed to be thicker. And then I came back up, so this is thin, because when you go up, the line is thin. And I get back up here, and I went down, so the line's going to be thick. So what I'm going to do is going to go just like that. So after you're done doing that, what you're going to do is just color in those spaces that you drew out with your pencil. and you'll get better at this as you go along. And then basically what you have is a fancy cursive letter A. So that is how you do faux calligraphy for an A. You can use this technique basically with all the letters. As you can see on this worksheet, what they have you do is first you draw out the letter, and then you make the line thick. I'm not sure if you can see that, but like right here, see how I made the line thick, and then you color it in. So you draw it, make the lines thick, and then color it in. Draw it, make the lines thick, and color it in. So it gives you all the steps if you want to trace or just practice. So now, once you have done this a couple of times, I'd recommend doing this with the entire alphabet. You're going to go ahead and use these pens. So these are, like I said before, the brand, I'm not sure if you can read it, but it says Tombow right there. And so these are the Tombow pens. So I'll show you. There, you get two different pens. You can get these on Amazon. I will leave the link to, once again, I will leave the link to these worksheets in the description box below, and I will leave a link to these pens as well. So you can get these on Amazon, and there are two different colors. There's a blue and a black. The blue is the soft tip, so it looks like this, and this is more like a brush, so it lets you more flow along the paper, and you can really get those thick and thin lines. Whereas this is a really thin and it's a hard tip, so it's a lot harder. You have to put a lot more pressure on the pen in order to get those thick lines. So when I did these practice sheets, I used the black soft pen because I find that that's the easiest. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can use these pens. So right here I have the black one. Again, this is the soft tip, so I would recommend maybe try both of them and see which one's easier for you. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do an A without drawing those lines, and you can just do it on a command. So you're going to start thin, and when you go down, you're going to push harder on the pen and your line's going to become thick. When you go back up, your line's going to be thin. And then when you go back down again, your line's going to be thick. So remember, down is thick and up is thin. So I'm going to try to do this the best I can under the camera. I can't promise that it'll look that great, but it'll give you an idea. So I'm just going to go thin and then push for thick. And then I'm going to go thin and then I'm going to push for thick again. So now you have an A. I'm going to do a better one because that one's not the greatest. I'm going to go thick, thin, just like that. And that's how you do an A. So you can use this technique basically with the whole alphabet. I did the entire alphabet on this piece of paper. You can also do numbers and letters. Exclamation points and commas are also included in the worksheet, and the worksheet gives you lowercase and uppercase letters as well. So I'm going to show you how the hard tip works now that you know how the soft tip works. I'm just going to, just so you guys are understanding this, I'm going to make a better diagram right here. So down is thick and up is thin. Okay, so I'm going to try, I don't have a lot of experience with the hard tip, but I'm going to try to do an A with the hard tip. So let's see if this works. Thick, thin, thick. So there you have an A. Actually, this worked out pretty well. I'm going to do another one. Thick, thin, thick. Also, you might have noticed that I lift up my pen a little bit in between while I'm doing the letters. That's okay to do because this is not cursive. This is not like, most of these letters, they're similar to the cursive look, but they're not cursive. So don't worry about your pen being stuck to the paper the entire time because it's not going to work if you try to do that. So if you need to lift up, go ahead and do that because it will make your faux calligraphy look a lot more realistic and it'll make it a lot neater. I'm going to show you one side effect that can happen sometimes when you're trying to do thin lines. I'm going to try to find... Okay, so when you're first trying to do thin lines, what can happen a lot, if you look closely, see how shaky that bottom line is on the L? That can happen, but as you go along, these lines are going to become less shaky. My lines are still shaky, But I mean, nobody's really going to care because they're not going to look that close. But if your thin lines are shaky, don't worry about it. You just want to almost, when you're going thin lines, you're going to almost want to like graze the paper, just like barely. You want them very thin. So if that's what you have to do to make them thin, then just work on it and eventually you will start to get better. I'm going to show you a few products now that you can use when you're doing faux calligraphy. So like I said before, obviously you can use these Tongo pens. These come in all colors from red to black to blue to everything. You can actually get them on Amazon, I believe, for a lot of different colors. I also have these pens. These are just a few of the colors. I basically have all of these colors. I got these on at my Hobby Lobby actually. So go check out my shopping at Hobby Lobby video. These pens, these are also brush pens, but they're a lot thicker. You can use them the same way. I have used these before for faux calligraphy. The only thing is that the tip, even at the, like right here at the beginning, is so thick that it's really hard to push down and get the thick and thin. If you're experienced enough, you could probably do it, but it's a little bit difficult. Then obviously, it's not necessarily meant for faux calligraphy, but you can get these on Amazon as well. I'll try to link as many of these products as I can in the description box, but these are just basic calligraphy pens. So I recommend maybe trying these if you're really liking faux calligraphy and you actually want to try the real calligraphy. This is what you would use. This look of these pens is what we're trying to mimic, because sometimes calligraphy pens can get a little bit expensive. So you're basically trying to do calligraphy in a cheap and fun way. I'm going to show you a few things that you can do when you are trying to incorporate it into your Bible journaling, a few things that you can do with faux calligraphy. One of them is Bible verses. I did this the other day. It says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." It's kind of blurry, but I used my black Tongo pen for that, and it worked out actually pretty well. I like hanging these up in my room just for like decoration, and they look pretty like professional, so I like that. I also did this. It says, "What shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?" This was my attempt at the pens that you can get at Hobby Lobby. As you can see, it doesn't look as great as my other ones did. The lines are a little bit shaky and they didn't work out as well, but you can still get a really cool effect with the pens from Hobby Lobby. So guys, that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope that this gave you some good ideas on how to do faux calligraphy. I'm really starting to like this. It's really easy, it's really fun, and you can just get some really cool results with it. So just keep practicing. If the results at first are not what you're expecting, just keep going at it, because you will improve if you keep working at it. So thank you for watching. Once again, make sure to subscribe to Jesus Time for Teens and give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you know somebody else you think would enjoy this faux calligraphy project, send this video to them and share Jesus Time for Teens with them. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and Jesus loves you. Bye!